good, Humbl3 Fam? How about y'all come on in and let's have us another visit here on the Humbl Show. I'm Grant Fletcher, being joined, as always, by my co-hosts Moonbeam Hallows and Brandon Cox. And here they are now. There y'all go. There you are.
Hi.
I think out of the corner of my eye, I saw Moonbeam.
I can't help myself.
Huh?
I can't help it.
Can't help yourself.
I do this thing with my mouth. And now that I've said something, that's all anybody's going to notice. That's all I see. That's all I see.
I have this thing where like my thoughts show up on my face no matter what I do. Like it's like people.
You don't have a poker
No,
face?
No, I don't. That's the thing. Like you just kind of have a pretty good general idea of like what I'm thinking at all times. Like I'll sit there like. I don't know. Like it's like words like will just like escape into the world. Like I don't know. I can't explain it. I don't know why.
I know what you mean. I know what you're saying.
It happens without me even knowing I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm that way if I have a song in my head and like my facial expressions I fear match that song.
Okay. Yeah. That I mean I can see that.
What song are you thinking about?
The one song that I think that I have a face with is, and it's a song that is constantly in my head. It's a song called Tallahassee by a band called Earth, and it's a very like down-tuned, slow, like groove, not groove metal, but like a groovy metal song.
Okay,
it's really good. It's very stoic. It's very badass. And I feel like it's not so much a stoic badass visage that I put on. It just looks like I'm having a bad day more than likely, but I'm having a good day. I promise.
You're rocking out in your head.
Right. Yeah. You're living Moss is what you're doing. You're living Moss.
Hell yeah. Brandon's always living Moss.
I'm living my Baja best.
That's right.
He's living hella Moss.
I feel like, never mind. I think people have listened to this show enough to know that about, the whole Taco Bell connection here with us. By the way, Taco Bell, if you want to sponsor, Southernerds Fest, Alabama Comic-Con, hit us up.
Yeah, man.
In the comments.
Taco Bell.
Yeah, Taco Bell, drop in the comments and let us know that you want to sponsor a show,
Heck yeah, give us a big inflatable chihuahua.
Alabama Comic-Con as presented by Taco Bell. It could, whatever. Weirder things have happened.
That'd be great.
I need to point out that we are down to the wire recording this episode. Normally we record, we drop the show on Wednesday and then we record the next one on Thursday. So like we're ahead. We have like a good week built in to like get it recorded and get an episode put together and put it out there. But that did not happen this past week. We were getting back in from Southern Nerds. And then Tuesday.
I mean, we were getting back in from Mobile.
Yeah, that's right. Mobile Bay Anime Fest. Look, it's all like, it's all one gig to me.
Yeah,
we came back in from Mobile Bay Anime Fest last week. Business as usual Monday. Tuesday, I had a concert. I went to see Social Distortion, who I like a lot, but I don't love. But headlining was Bad Religion, who I do love. That was like my last big band on my list that I'd never seen before that I had to go. Ironically, so the last time they came through, I missed them because I was seeing Iron Maiden in Houston that same night, which, I mean, you kind of have to go see Iron Maiden. So, that was I didn't mind missing it at that time, but Bad Religion was awesome. They killed it. Bunch of 60-year-old dudes playing gallopy punk rock music. It was great. And then Wednesday, I had my weekly trivia gig. Thursday, when we normally would have recorded, I had a gig at the place I host trivia every year. They do an NFL draft party for the first round of the draft. So I hosted that. And then by Friday night, I had come down with strep. So, here we are. Oh, and then we were supposed to record. I was kind of getting over it yesterday. We were going to record yesterday, and then my power went out from 3 p.m. to about midnight. Like 11:50, it came back on. So here we are.
Louise, man.
On Tuesday night, recording the Wednesday episode. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Well, it was one of those things, right? Because like we have Entergy here. Your power goes out. They send you a text, and they're like, your power's going to be back on by this time, right? And they told me by like 5:30. And I was like, probably not, though. Here's the thing. You're telling me right now it's going to be back on by 5:30. Probably not. And then we got to about 5 o'clock, maybe close to 5:30. And I got another text that was like, okay, your power's going to be back on by 8 p.m. And as soon as they said that, I was like, okay, it's going to be 2 a.m. before the power's on. Because what's going to happen is they're going to keep walking it back. And sure enough, we get to like almost 8. And then they're like, your power's going to be back on by 10 now. I'm like, all right, cool. Not going to happen, but okay.
No.
And then at 10, they're like, all right, now your power's going to be back on at 11. I'm like, okay, sure. And then by 11, they sent another one saying, okay, your power's going to be on by 1:30 a.m. I was like, called it. Knew it was going to happen. But they came in before. Here's what they do, right? They keep pushing it back and pushing it back, and then they push it back to a time beyond where they know they're going to have it fixed. So that when it comes on, they're like, yeah, see, look, we had it on before we told you it was going to be on, even though the original time was 5:30 p.m. So,
you know what the biggest taboo thing around here?
What's that?
I think, as far as like my local Facebook news feed of the local yokels.
Okay.
When anybody says anything ugly about the linemen.
About the what?
The linemen that
the linemen.
The power back on. It's just like there'll be like one sect of people that just go on there and just trash why isn't the power back on? And then there's like a whole herd of or gaggle, I don't know what you would say, of people that just come in and just like, those linemen are out there,
Yeah.
Look
in the rain.
And here is
life on the line.
Here is my hot take and all that, because I feel like there is a subset for a lot of a lot of supporters of professions in that sense. You have like big supporters of, guys who work on the rig. If it wasn't for us, you couldn't drive your truck. There are big supporters of people that are in the medical field, like, oh, without nurses, what are you going to do? You can't get stitches. What are you going to do? There are big supporters of like basically a lot of professions, like basically saying like these people are heroes. These people, without them, the nation would die. Here's the thing. If you're paid, you're not a hero.
Those linemen are up to their ass in alligators, in electricity, butt naked, trying to get
butt
the power
naked.
back
Why?
on. I don't know. I mean,
Why
I'm sure they are because they're out there doing it.
Here's the thing. I got nothing against the linemen. It's not the linemen. Hats off to them and respect to them for what they do. It's the shoddy electric grid that we have. It's documented fact. Listen, this is becoming like a consumer podcast right now, where we're telling you about your utilities. It's documented fact that these companies got a lot of money after Katrina to upgrade their grid, and they did not do that. They just kept the money.
Would they?
And now I think some people are being sued over that. So I mean, it's a documented fact at this point in time.
Hey,
so
look, just for the record, I don't give two shits about it.
Yeah,
I don't care. Like, if there's power, that's wonderful. Like, I don't like going without power, but like if it takes a minute to get back on because there's a tree down,
Look, if we can backpedal a little bit, I'm all for linemen working, but I think that they need to be fully clothed at all times, no matter.
I would agree with that.
Naked. I don't know. Look, I may have just thrown that in.
No, this is canon now. This is.
I do know that they were literally up to their booties in alligators.
They can always
being on fires, just making that light come back on.
As I'm told by several people, like as I've been told in the past, hey, if you don't like it, you can do something else.
True enough.
That's true.
True enough. I like that. Luckily, it was a cool day, so it felt really nice in the house. But it's just this thing. I don't know if I've ever talked about this on the show before, but also like I can't really go to bed without power.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I sleep with a machine on my face.
Yeah.
So, well, not a whole machine. There's like a mask hooked up to a machine.
Yeah.
And so like I could go to sleep, but I
wouldn't climb into your iron lung.
Yeah, exactly. I get in my iron lung.
Grant, I mentioned this.
I do a pathetic little. and then I pass out.
Oh,
Bless.
What are you
Grant,
saying, Brandon?
I mentioned this to you about a week or so ago. One of my coworkers recently got one of them iron lungs, and the girl right next to her has one, and like she was like, "Oh, it's just so there's so much to do, and I gotta." And she's like, "Oh, listen, honey, let me tell you all the house cleaning things that you don't have to do with all of the the cleaning that they say that you have to do. Here are the steps that you can skip," which I think is nefarious advice.
I don't
Like that is a device that is all up in you, and you're just saying like, no, here's the bacteria that's not gonna kill you. It's
I don't
fine. It's
yeah, I don't
whatever.
care for that.
Yeah. Yeah, that pink mold, that's just for looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That's just mineral deposits. It's not a big deal.
That's
Not a big
right.
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't understand that. I think to each their own. It's you doing you. That's fine. But for me, I'm not gonna worry about that. Yeah. And then like we said, y'all, I get what else happened? Oh yeah, like I said, I had strep for the second time this year. And I know what you're probably thinking. Grant, that can't be right. It's only May. No, it's right. Somehow I got strep twice this year. So
I'll tell you how you got strep twice this year.
yeah,
Because you're still using those tonsils,
I do.
those
Yeah.
worthless tonsils.
Yeah.
I do have them.
I mean, look,
I should just throw them away. Just
give them ye old snip, snip.
Do you do that at the grindhouse? Is that something
Yeah,
you do?
man,
Yeah,
come on. Let's take those
absolutely.
things out.
Come-
opening in June. I'll just schedule an appointment. Come by.
Come step into the kitchen. We'll do.
Hey,
you-
look,
I
you
might. I
right.
don't know. I've heard it's like a bigger deal when you're an adult to get them out.
Look, yeah, for
Yeah.
real. It's like getting the chicken pox.
Yeah.
When I got my tonsils out when I was 17 years old,
Mhm.
and I swear that my throat hurt for the next year. And every time that I would like sneeze, I thought that my freaking head was exploding.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It was terrible. Look, it was awful. Awful. But I'm glad I don't have tonsils because I can't
Okay.
remember the last sore throat I had.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I was
A
about to
roach.
say, knock on wood, but not only do I
Once
have
you
my
want to.
tonsils, I cannot tell you the last time I had like a legit like sore throat. I'm talking, I mean, like I might have a widow tickle
You
for a
got
day
to
or
scratch your
two,
throat.
but other than that, like it's been a long. I'm talking like 20 years
Wow.
since I've had like
Darn.
What's that
bad
like?
sore throat.
Jeez, I wouldn't
Um,
know. I would not know what that's like. I have like some
Well,
kind of a
those
flare up like
vitamins.
once a month at least. But yeah, I guess that's what my problem is. I don't know. I got to take care of it. Then I got to address something,
Yeah.
figure it out. But
You need to get you one of
I will-
those. Just get them cut out.
Yeah.
And do you have? This is gross, but
Uh-huh.
have you guys ever seen tonsil stones?
Oh, I have. I have.
Yes. And here's the
I had
thing,
never heard of that until recently, and I saw someone mention it, and then I like started looking at videos of tonsil stone removal.
and you just can't look away.
Yeah,
It's
no.
like a dumpster fire train wreck.
The
Yeah.
thing is, like, I'm sure that they numb the back of their throat to a degree.
I don't know if they do.
My gag reflex is like so bad that I would see the instrument and start vomiting.
Well,
Yeah, you've got to have some kind of tolerance for that procedure. It doesn't look very painful, but it does just look very like awkward and uncomfortable.
you talking about the little sprayer thing, the little tooth cleaning thing?
Oh,
that you
I
spray
see.
your
I
They
think
take
tonsils
a little
with?
pick
I
thing and
think
they just
I've
like poke
seen-
at it until they pop out, right?
Yeah, I've seen the pokers. Yeah.
Oh, no, son.
They look like pimple poppers.
Yeah.
When they pretty
Yeah.
much are, but
That's
to backpedal a little bit, like there's
Yeah.
there's so many common bacterias and diseases that like I've never gotten. Like I've never had strep, I've never had bronchitis. People are saying that they get scarlet rubella. I've never had any of that. Like there's so much that I just have not had, and I'm very thankful for it because I'm a
too bad.
baby. I turn into a baby boy when I
Didn't you
get
get
sick.
fifth disease?
I did get Fitz disease, which that sucked.
Yeah.
What is
Most of the-
Fitz disease? I don't think I've had that. What is
So Fitz disease is like it's like in a line of like you have like chickenpox, measles, mumps,
okay.
And foot and mouth disease. And then there's the fifth
yeah.
one.
and then you got Fitz.
They ran
disease,
out of
which is-
names.
They ran
Okay.
out of names.
With
That
disease.
Latin only goes so far. And basically, you just your entire body breaks out into a rash. It itches. You have fever. It's not great. I forget what they did beyond like give me some useless cream, which I would bring to school because I would need to reapply it. And the school was like, they gave me grief for that. Like, I don't know if we can allow this. I don't know if we can allow you to bring this cream to school. I'm like, well, all right. But yeah, for about a month, I was just an itchy mess.
Wow.
It's not. I don't believe it's contagious because they kept letting me go to
They just
school.
threw you in there with all the other kids.
Yeah.
When we were kids, they had chickenpox parties.
Oh
And-
my
and-
gosh.
And here's the thing: like, I had the chickenpox shot twice because the first time around they lost the record of the immunization.
Oh no.
So I should have. Well, I think I got the second shot after the fifth disease, but maybe that's why I never really get sick with anything beyond like a little cough and a little
Yeah.
bit of temperature. Maybe it's because I had 2 chickenpox
Maybe that's
shots.
what it was. It
Double
was the
vax.
second
That's
one.
what we
There you
need.
go.
Little
See,
double vax.
I think that's the thing. That's the thing with me. I am all about double and triple vaccine. There's so many people who were thinking that Bill Gates has his microchips in that. I do fill
man.
yourself up full of the chips. Get that 5G in you because hey, I don't get sick.
That's right.
Once you
Good
have
for
all
you,
of them,
man.
you can just snap your fingers and change reality too. It's part
Look,
of the
I have
thing.
17G. My cell phone
There you
service
go.
is impeccable.
He's never roaming either. It's
No.
really
It's
wild.
amazing.
It's really wild. Well, I'm glad we were all healthy for Southernerds Fest. I mean, look, I'm getting ahead
Mobile
of myself.
Bay, baby.
I'm glad we're all healthy for Mobile Bay Anime Fest. It was really good. We had a
was a
really
fun
good
time.
day, I thought. I say
Always
that
a
a
fun
lot
time.
at the shows, but I love doing the shows. But no, it was a good show. Like everybody was amped up, everybody was excited. I felt like when we sent everybody home after the costume contest,
We all called their parents.
we all called their parents. We were like, come get these kids now, okay?
We're having too much fun.
They're
Oh, I got a
way too
story.
young.
Y'all don't let me forget.
But
Go ahead.
everybody was everybody was amped up and excited, and I just loved, like, I love that energy. I love that we were a part of that. I love to see, everybody filtering
Yeah.
out just after having this really great time. It was awesome. It was a really cool day.
Yeah.
I think everybody had a good time.
Yeah.
I certainly
I-
did.
I enjoyed running the concession stand. That's my favorite thing to do. That when they, because normally I'm just watching the ye old bag,
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and this time they were like, "Hey, we need you to run the concession stand," and I was like, "I can do that,"
Yeah.
and it was fun. It
Hey,
was super fun.
I took home some of that jalapeno lemonade.
It's good stuff, right?
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I
It's
might do
delicious.
is I might make some for myself. And then,
Okay.
like, put a little shot of mezcal in there.
Ooh,
Oh yeah.
that's what I'm talking
I
about, Grant.
love the taste of jalapeno in like any drink, like muddled into it. I love it.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear this that's going on in my
Here's
house?
some kind
I
of
don't think-
chaos.
I don't think that they know that. Hey, Greg,
kinda-
will you tell Nimi that I am recording a podcast?
We have
with my
very official
professional
business
thing.
going on here because we're talking
On
about
official business.
Mobile Bay
Look.
Anime Fest and how awesome it is. And when's the next
Listen.
Mobile Bay Anime Fest? Do we know?
Yeah, Easter weekend.
Easter
next
weekend,
Year.
the day before
Easter weekend? Oh well, it's-
Easter
25.
weekend. So
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna have to have church at the hotel room or something because.
well, hey,
we're
before
not-
before I forget, shout out to Allegra. She has been going to the last 3 shows, and she is always an absolute joy and a ray of light to see. Shout out to Allegra.
Allegra.
Who's Allegra?
Thanks for coming out. Yeah.
Who
it's
is
a good
that?
time.
She is a wonderful girl, and she has been coming to our shows for quite a while now.
Like one of my volunteers, Allegra Sage.
No,
So I've never met this person.
nah. If you
guess
can,
not.
if you want.
You're watching
Well,
that
shoot,
back.
shout out to Allegra.
Yeah.
Next time, come in and meet me.
Yeah.
So we can high five.
Yeah, say
I'm-
hello at the main stage if you're going to be at
man.
Southernerds Fest too.
I love
Oh,
that
yeah,
name,
that's right.
Allegra.
That's-
But I thought you were talking about because we have the.
we do have Allegra Sage, and she's
Yeah, we have-
wonderful.
She is amazing.
But she wasn't there. She wasn't
No,
there.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, maybe you're confused, Brandon.
She snuck in.
I didn't see her. She didn't speak to me.
She snuck in, did 0 volunteer work, and just had a pretty cool time all
She didn't do
around.
nothing. She
Just
didn't even
enjoy
bring her
herself.
lucky hat.
Yeah.
Like
No,
people do.
here's the thing.
Okay.
We were sponsored by Monster Energy drinks for
Yeah.
Mobile Bay Anime
Yeah.
Festival. So, you know, we were sponsored by them. We could probably have, you know, sold them or whatever and made some money of them. But that's not what they want you to do. That's not what we wanted to do. We wanted to give them away.
Yeah.
Obviously. I don't know why I said that. But I was giving them away. And, you know, you can't just discriminate against children coming up and taking one. Now, if somebody was like Neil's age or younger, Neil's 9, if I could tell, you know, if they came in with their baby teeth and wanted a monster, I'd be like, how about some lemonade, or, you know, how about a water or something?
Not me.
Or
Had it
if
been
they,
me up there,
don't
not me.
get it.
It'd be like, hey kid, you want to piss rocks?
Yeah, so like we had this one beautiful girl, like just a young kid, just kept coming by, and you know, they were all decked out and, you know, looking cool, and just kept coming by and grabbing a monster, and then after about the 4th one, Jessica, that was in the concession stand with me, was like, hey, I don't know if they need any more monsters. We don't want to send them home on dialysis, you know?
Yeah.
So they came back by, and I was like, hey, look, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but
I love you, kid, but no.
how about this? Drink this water. So I gave him a water, and I was like, drink this, and then in an hour, if you still want a monster, come back. That kid set a timer on their phone.
No.
They chugged that water. Their friends were all like, ah, you're getting mommed.
Man,
They came back, and I told them, I said, hey, look, it's your last monster.
yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Yeah.
I remember
They
whenever
were cute though, man. But they were seeing how many monsters they could drink.
I remember whenever I was a kid, like if you went to like not a grocery, if you went to like a gas station, you know, and you were like a teenager, you know, like 13, 14, 15, 16.
They wouldn't sell you a 40.
They would be like, no, I don't think we're going to sell that to you. In fact, like whenever I worked at gas stations as a teenager, they're like, hey, look, you know, we have these energy drinks. You get like some real young kids in there, be like, hey, look, no, I don't think so. But I'm glad that we have lifted that ban. The age of cigarettes have gone up. The age of energy drinks have gone down.
Yeah, man. I there was they only had like one like kid, like this kid was probably 15 years old or you know, whatever.
Oh, I was picturing like an 8-year-old coming up to you,
I
like,
know.
in a spring dress, in a large lollipop, in a billowing hat.
No, this was it was
Do kids look like that these days?
It was a young teenager, you know, whatever.
I shudder to think what would happen if my 7-year-old got a hold of
You're right. If it had been a kid that looked like MJ, which I had one, and they were like, "Can I have a monster?" And they had an adult with them. I was like, "If it's okay with that adult."
I imagine that if MJ was given an energy drink, she would throw a cinder block through a cop car.
Yeah, I think she probably would. I could.
It was like someone gave her PCP. I don't think she would like it, to be honest with you. With the way they taste, I know just how she is. I don't think she would.
Yeah, they sure taste like it tastes like God does not love those drinks.
Yeah, man, I'm not a fan.
It tastes like chemicals, and I know that water's a chemical, but it tastes like the spicy chemicals.
Okay,
right.
The spicy ones. All right.
It tastes, yeah.
I'll tell you what else, too. When we were at Mobile Bay Anime Fest, you know, Greg and I kept talking that day about just like, well, one of the things that we kept saying was like, man, could you believe it's like only like 1 o'clock? Can you believe it's only whatever? Because like, I don't know, it just felt like so much was happening in that one day. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like so much day had already happened by the time we got there, which was great because again, it was because everybody was just having fun and having a good time.
Oh yeah.
So I really dug that. I really thought that was cool. And then we also were talking about just like how much of a banger this lineup is for Southernerds Fest too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what's that?
Oof. Yeah, it's gonna be a great time.
I mean, look, John Ratzenberger, we've talked about a bunch. I'm real excited to work with him, you know, for the first time, maybe not the last time.
Forever.
We'll see. Doug Jones, I always love working with Doug. He's great.
Yeah.
It's never bad having Sting around. Okay. When the Stinger comes to town, you better show up because
That's right.
you're not going to have a lot of opportunities. And then if you're, into Buffy, you're into Dexter,
You're into Bring It On.
Anime. And the thing too, like the anime folks we're bringing are like freaking like
legends,
heavy hitter legends. Yeah, we got Monica Rial and Jamie Markey showing up. Trina Nishimura is going to be there. Brittany Karbowski, heavy hitter in the space. And then Caroline Williams and Bob Elmore from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Which, I don't know, some people prefer that one to the first one, to be honest with you. It's a very different movie. Very different movie.
Yeah,
you know what's funny is, fun. What's that?
It's got some comedy elements.
Yeah, it's a lot more fun. Well, okay, so here's what I was going to tell you.
Got a better soundtrack.
When we worked with Caroline, it does have a better soundtrack. That is true, but that's because one of the main characters is anyway. But one of the things that Caroline told me, I got to take a sip of water here. I'm still like getting over the whole strep thing, but when we worked with Caroline Williams at Preserve Halloween Fest, she told me when I talked about that during the panel, I was like, yeah, such a different movie, when it came out. And she's like, oh yeah, people were pissed and blah, blah, blah. She goes, but she's like, Toby, the director, he thought the first one was a comedy. He was like, all that was funny to him. He thought he'd made a comedy when he made the first one. Like,
hey, look, I can see that. I can see that, because he's like, come on, Franklin. It's going to be a fun trip. Then he falls down the hill and spills pee on us. Yeah, man, F. Franklin.
There are definitely some elements in there. So, like, honestly, it's like, he was making the continuation, I guess. And I guess he just wanted to go more, like, in the comedy space. Of course, and also, but another thing is it's going to be good to, one of the things I didn't bring up earlier is that we have the Wimpy kids are back.
Yeah, they are.
Zach Gordon and Robert Capron are going to be there.
Yeah.
They're so rad.
Man, people were into that panel at Louisiana Comic-Con, so it's really cool.
Man, that's everybody's childhood, and if you're a parent, that's your kid's childhood.
Yeah. We so my daughter went up and started talking to Rob. I don't know if I told you this or not, because he was in Frankenweenie, and she loves Frankenweenie. We watch Frankenweenie every year around Halloween, so she saw that character on the banner. And she was talking to him, and then afterwards she was asking about it, and I was like, well, the two of them, they were in this movie together, or these movies together. It's called Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And she goes, Diary of a Wimpy Kid? I said, no.
Diary of a
Wimpy Kid. So then we went back and watched the 3 movies that they were in together. So she got really into that. And so she was actually just quoting it today, as a matter of fact, which is weird. But yeah, so I'm excited to do that panel. Over in Biloxi, because I think the people of Biloxi are going to dig it. It's going to be a good time.
I think so. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be fine.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm doing my homework. I'm getting ready for it. I'm stretching. Trying to get back into shape for it as well.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Can't be out there. Look. I saw the pictures of the last couple shows, and I was like, you know what? I could work harder. so trying to get back at it.
Yeah, I got to get down my playing weight.
Yeah. I got to get back to fighting weight,
Yeah.
As you two know, I go into these things both blind and unprepared. Like I go in, read the pamphlet. I'm like, why do we have Joey Buttafuoco as a guest?
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes even when I prepare, I don't we had a scenario at Mobile Bay. And the last panel we did, we ended up putting Kyle Phillips and Mallory Rodak together.
Yeah, a little too.
Why'd y'all do that?
Oh, okay. So you didn't know? Okay, yeah.
Nobody tells me anything.
You didn't know? Yeah. So what happened? What had happened was Kyle decided he was going to change his flight to an earlier flight. So we said, well, let's just combine the last 2 panels together. And that way we can, extend the panel a little bit longer, but you can leave a little bit earlier, that kind of thing. And so have a little bit of table time before you go, to catch anybody that you might have missed before you're leaving. And then we did that, and we changed the schedule, and we announced it. And then the flight that he switched to got canceled.
Yeah.
So
in his face.
So
That's
then
right.
he's dealing with the airline the whole time,
kid.
and I was like, we can move it back if you want to. And he's dealing with the airline and trying to deal with this and figure out just like how he's gonna get home, because eventually it's like, oh yeah, now you can't get out of town until Tuesday or something like that.
Ooh.
It was like absurd.
It wasn't that serious.
It wasn't that serious, but it would have put him out way later than he would have left originally. And so he was like dealing with that until we walked out the door to go, to the panel. Like he was behind, we were backstage, and he finished it. And then I felt like I'd prepared for each of them individually, but for some reason I wasn't able to put it together in my brain to make it work as a cohesive panel. So I just felt like I was just stuttering the entire time we were out there. And I have no idea why, what that was a problem for.
I'm sure that I'm sure they carried it.
No, I think we
problem.
did okay. But it's one of those things where in my mind I was like, also could have been better,
Look, the people love the goof.
Look, I learned some things. From that experience. Yeah. That's what we
you
do.
had a goof, you had a spoof. It's fine.
When you work in live entertainment, you got to know how to roll with it.
That's right. Yeah. You got to roll with it.
Mm-hmm. That's the truth.
Hey, listen, I was listening to last week's or week before last's podcast.
Yeah.
And I realized that I said 2 things the whole time. I said, so cool. That's all I said. Everything. So cool. That's so cool.
You just said one thing. Well,
no, that's 2 words. One thing I get. Yeah, 2 words.
Well, look,
that's all I had.
I have a confession to make real quick. I didn't write any trivia this week. I laid in bed sick all weekend. But I got to know, because we were talking about Fallout. Did y'all finish Fallout or no?
I did.
I have watched I watched the first episode on Saturday.
Okay.
Hey, this is pretty darn good. I'm gonna watch more of this, and then I just played more of New Vegas because I started a new save. And look, I'm sure that series is real good, but let me tell you, anybody who's played Fallout 3 or Fallout 4, those are fine games. Those are fine. Play New Vegas. You can get it for several nickels. If you throw several nickels at your computer, it'll just produce New Vegas, and it is one of the best role-playing games of all time.
Well, Brandon, I'm not going to say anything definitive, but because you like New Vegas so much, and I like New Vegas a lot, you need to finish Fallout.
Yeah, and I'm gonna. And the thing is, it's so hard to decide. It's like, do I want to see an experience that's been very well crafted by people who clearly have a great amount of appreciation for the original games, or do I want to craft my own way and do as I wish and live out my fantasies? And the thing is, it's so hard not to choose the latter.
Yeah. No, I get it. I had a real desire to play any one of the games while I was watching it, but I'm telling you, you're going to want to finish it. That's all I'm saying.
I liked it.
Because
given
the circumstances, what we just talked about, you're going to want to finish it.
How many episodes is it?
8?
8-ish.
Okay, I can deal with that.
What all the streamers are these days?
Yeah, someone gave me a bunch of DVDs to watch, so I'm gonna watch Fallout. I'm gonna watch those DVDs, and
what DVDs of what, Brandon?
It was several DVDs I was gonna. They're in another room.
Animated series.
Sopranos.
I need to watch The Sopranos. I've only seen one episode, but no. Oh my god! I remember whenever I was younger, and I was 7. I was 7 years old, and I had 2 or 3 Spawn comics. I'm like, this is badass.
Yeah.
And I wanted to rent the Spawn the animated series DVD from Hollywood Video, and those chodes, those narcs put the this isn't rated, but
They put
this
the
isn't
sticker
for
on it.
kids sticker on it.
Right.
And of course, my parents were like, "No, you'll go to hell if you watch this." So is the animated series worth a watch?
Oh, dude, the animated series is like the best thing about the character ever.
Oh, I'm totally gonna watch it. Oh, that's another
Oh,
thing.
are you kidding me?
Quit adding things to the pile.
No,
in
no,
addition
you do.
to
If you
the
know,
things I
seriously,
already.
yeah, if you've never seen it, you need to watch that.
Oh
That goes
my
to
God.
everybody in the Humbl fam out there. Listen, if you've seen the movie from the 90s, forget that. Forget
Yeah.
about it. Okay, listen.
Yeah.
I forgot about it the day I saw it.
I actually, a friend of mine back in college was like, "Oh, I've never seen the animated series." So I was like, "Here's the DVDs. I used to have the DVDs. I don't have them anymore." And lent him to him. And when he brought him back to me, he was like, "This makes me really angry because they should have just made this the movie." I
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. It's great, amazing." I mean, I haven't seen it in a long time. I don't know how it aged, but as of like the early 2000s, mid 2000s, it was still fine. So it's got to be somewhat okay still.
People say the same thing about the Watchmen series. Like, of course, it's a new story, but people were like, "Oh wow, whoever was in charge of this should have been in charge of the Watchmen franchise as a whole."
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Snyder fan. I'll go on record.
Yeah,
to say that.
I think that the people that are good for them. But yeah, I don't share the his the way that he approaches nerdy culture is like it's like as if he's trying to shove a motocross motorcycle into it. And I really wish that he wouldn't. It was just like this I don't know, this tribal tattoo sort of mindset that he always tries to push into his media.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. But
No.
maybe someone can explain. Tell you what, if you listen, Humbl fam, if you think you can explain Zack Snyder to me, explain Zack Snyder to me, please.
Hey, can you do it, Greg?
Put it in the comments below.
Can you explain Zack Snyder?
I feel like if I ever met Zack Snyder, he would always talk about his ex-girlfriends.
I don't know, Greg, are you pro or are you pro or anti Zack Snyder?
They can't hear you. You gotta come closer.
He's got mixed emotions about it.
He said if he starts with
I'm indifferent.
Indifferent. Okay.
I'm as much as I'm giving the guy grief right now. I thought that the Watchmen film was all right. It was okay.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It was ultra mega okay.
There were definitely some decisions that were made that were just, not great.
What's your opinion, Maynard?
The problem with Zack Snyder is he's taking other people's ideas and trying to make them his own. He's fanboying. He's fanboying over stuff that doesn't need to be fanboyed over. Okay. And then when he was given his own property, he destroyed it, and it made no sense, which is Sucker Punch.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, Sucker Punch could have been an amazing movie, but all he cares about is what it looks like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I think you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly my take. If someone has anything else to say, let me know in the comments. I want to know. I want to hear it. But that's exactly what I feel like too.
Yeah.
Whenever he did the whole Snyder cut of the Justice League, when they put it out there, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's amazing! It's a 4-hour movie." I was like, "Yeah, cool." Kind of the whole art of making a movie though is making it make sense within like
90
minutes. 90 minutes, 2.5 hours,
90 minutes or less.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that's also the art of storytelling is also like making it fit into a time frame that makes sense for a human being to sit through. So, I don't know. And I say this as a guy who likes Lord of the Rings, but maybe not the extended cut. So, hey, you know what? I'm taking on all comers this week, I guess.
Look, here's the thing: is if you're watching Peter Jackson movies, you're committed to the time.
Yeah, but think about it this way: he condensed the story because look at the books; they're humongous.
You look at
Oh
the
yeah, no,
books.
he took a lot out. I mean, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I
he
mean,
took a
which
lot out
goes
and
back
still,
to
there were still 3-hour movies.
goes back to Watchmen. Yeah, he put an entire graphic novel series into a single film, and he needs to quit doing that. He needs to take one. You know what? It'll be a good exercise for him. Take one issue of a comic book and make a movie out of that. Don't
or a series.
You know how they'll take like a short children's book like Paddington and they'll make it into a whole movie, which is a great movie, by the way. Look, don't get me wrong, okay? Paddington, phenomenal.
So apparently, like Paddington 2 is insanely highly rated.
So I haven't. So here's the thing: it's on my watch list. We still haven't gotten around to seeing it, but we only just recently watched Paddington like earlier this year.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh well, now we got to watch the second one. We just haven't gotten around to it. But yeah, the understanding is that it's like one of the best sequels like of our generation.
Man, I don't know. Like. There are, and don't get me wrong, this is the 14-year-old that still lives inside of me. I have gotten recommended so many like children's franchises, not children's franchises, but like animated series and like films that are partially aimed at children, but like, hey, they got witty dialogue and they got the writing's really good, and I think you'll enjoy. The humor is amazing. And look, I'm gonna be honest. There's a part of me that's just like, look, if it don't have titties in it,
right? I really like Babe and Babe Pig in the City.
Babe is a great film. Like to this day, I remember seeing a pig in the city, and it was kind of like just overwhelming to me.
Yeah, it's an art film.
Yeah,
it is 100%.
I will say, like,
heard of a movie called Homeward Bound?
The Incredible Journey. I have seen both the 70s original and the remake.
Yeah.
That
the thing about Homeward Bound,
Michael J. Fox and who were the Sally Field and then there was
I don't remember anymore.
Yeah, who was Shadow?
The thing about Homeward Bound is it starts out sad. It's like they're leaving in the beginning and the animals are sad and confused.
Yeah, I feel way more for those animals than I do for the kid in Home Alone.
Oh no, man.
That kid's an asshole.
Yeah.
Kevin knew he was all right.
Everybody was rooting for them wet bandits.
What were they gonna do? Like, were they gonna kill him?
Yes, they were going to drown him. I read the original script.
Yeah,
they were.
I'll tell you what. Just kind of like to put a button on this before we go. I'm glad we had this chance to like actually sit down and catch up here for a minute. But we did last weekend because of Kyle MacLachlan being in Fallout, and
it's my boy.
My daughter recently discovering the Flintstones just in general.
God, I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say Twin Peaks.
Blue Velvet.
No, we started my 7-year-old on Fire Walk with Me. No,
yes.
No, we watched the Flintstones, the '94 Flintstones. I
showed her Dune,
and I got to tell y'all, it holds up. It's still just like this.
That's
stupid fun, feel good movie. Yeah.
There is a YouTube channel that I follow very closely called Hats Off Entertainment. And he often revisits a lot of like popular films of the 90s that you wouldn't think would carry over. And he also has a series called Almost Cult Classics, where he reviews films that were almost cult classics. But he recently reviewed the Flintstones film, and God, I can never remember the actor that plays that played Barney in that film.
It was Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis, yeah, it looked like he nailed that role.
Rick Moranis, John Goodwin, Rosie O'Donnell, and who was the lady from Weeds?
I'm trying to remember now.
Yeah, she was.
Mary Louise Parker?
No, not Mary Louise Parker, but the other one.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
it was
the one from Big.
Were they talking about Spawn earlier?
Yeah, they were talking about Spawn earlier.
The reason why they didn't
Not Elizabeth Perkins.
The reason why they didn't do the animated series as live action was because the animated series is super dark. It's like about child sexual trafficking.
Well, yeah, they aired it on HBO.
Oh no, it is a dark. Yeah, it's very dark, and it does have like different subplots and things like that too. It got real.
It was in the live one. You knew it was gonna be weird. So.
Oh yeah.
Y'all know what else is about trafficking?
What's that?
That nobody really talks about it.
Is it the film Traffic?
No, Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Oh, it sure is.
Yeah, about traffic.
No,
Elizabeth
Perkins was Wilma in that movie. But yeah, no, the Flintstones thing is, here's the thing about the Flintstones is nobody phoned in their performances in the Flintstones.
Hell no, they didn't.
I mean, they acted their asses off in that movie.
That Muppet movie.
They Tim Curry'd it.
That's what I call it when an actor is in a movie that should be ridiculous, but they go all out and just treat it like it's it's cinema. Like, what about the guy from?
You're talking about like Tim Curry.
Tim
Curry
in the pirate movie, the Muppet Pirate
Muppet
movie.
Treasure Island.
Not only that, but kind of like whenever Patrick Stewart was presenting that one SNL episode, he's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, salt and pepper."
And then what else? The guy from Christmas Carol, the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine, yeah.
Like that's the greatest movie ever made.
Dude, Michael Caine is
197 years old and he's still making movies.
No, he didn't phone it in. Look, you got to take it seriously. If you don't take it seriously, nobody else will.
Exactly.
But Tim Curry talked like to the Muppets as if they were real.
Excuse me. Well, they always do.
No,
you never watched Sesame Street?
No, that's no whatever.
Not everybody gets it. Definitely not like Tim Curry did. Yeah.
I'm glad that they didn't phone it in. It's good. Yep. Well, Pound Pound was talking about that one not too long ago.
Was she really?
Flintstones, yeah.
What's going on with that? Because someone else brought it up recently, and I was like, I just watched that like a few days ago.
I feel like it might be on some sort of streaming network.
It's on Netflix, but they say it's leaving soon. I don't know where it's going right now. But
look, I
think end of May maybe it's leaving.
I feel like everybody should leave Netflix. Everybody,
even Netflix is real weird, Yeah. Well, I think that's about all I have. I don't know what else do we have to do here. I mean, look, we got to talk about Southern Nerds. Y'all got to come out because if you miss this, first off, if you miss this, no one's going to enjoy it for you. You know what I mean? Like you have to be there to enjoy it. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, it's Biloxi. It's Memorial Day weekend. It is a banger of a cast. Brandon's going to be there making house announcements and slinging merch.
We got some great cosplayers coming. We got Remy and Beku and Strange Cat's coming and
Red Top's coming.
Red Top. Yeah. It's going to be Always Makeup will be there.
Yeah, Carly and Glam Rock of Strange Cat will be there. So
yeah,
it's going to be a dope time. I keep we're less than a month away now. And I keep realizing that over the last few days. I've kept realizing that, and that's what kept me going. All weekend when I was rolling around in bed with a fever. That's what kept me going, knowing that Southernerds Fest is less than a month away. So here we are.
Well, right on, man. It's still gonna happen.
Look, if y'all haven't already, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and give us a like and a comment, and follow us on all of our social media platforms here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up here before my voice goes out. But
hey, look, I don't know how far this thing is going to stretch, but let's all say goodnight to Bob.
Oh yeah,
there's
say goodnight to Uncle Bob.
Good night.
Yeah, buddy.
Bob, say goodnight.
Got something for us, Bob?
Nah, he's shy.
That's right. Look, y'all, we'll be back here next week for another episode of the Humbl Show. But until then, y'all, stay humble.